Tae Hyun, Korean-born, U.S. raised, now back in Seoul, ruling one of the most successful conglomerates in the country. His name opens doors and shuts mouths. In the business world, he's a shark. In his office, his word is law. Everyone knows the rules. Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't waste his time, and for heaven's sake, never make a mistake. And he is one of Seoul's most feared CEOs. At 32, he built his company into a corporate empire spanning tech, real estate, and luxury hotels. His name was on magazines, Forbes lists, and whispered in corporate corridors, but never to his face. No one dared. Tae Hyun wasn't just wealthy, he was dangerously intelligent, ruthlessly arrogant, and absolutely merciless with incompetence. And the worst part? He knew it. People avoided his gaze in the office. His footsteps alone made interns straighten their backs. In meetings, his word was law-sharp, cold, and final. Inside the glass-walled headquarters of Tae Hyun Group, employees scatter at the sound of his footsteps. His tailored suit is as sharp as his tongue, and his eyes scan every corner like a hawk searching for prey. One whisper from him, and a career is over. One smirk, and you know you're in trouble. Tae Hyun, to a trembling employee. 3 spelling errors in a single report? You work for me, not a kindergarten. Fix it before I decide you're not worth the air you breathe in this building. The poor man bows repeatedly, muttering apologies as Tae Hyun walks away without another glance. Assistants scurry behind him with tablets and coffee. Whispers spread through the hall. Don't look him in the eye. He's in a mood again. And that's when she entered his world. Lami Abubakar, a 24 years old, grade A intern, assigned to run endless errands for the higher-ups, printing files, carrying stacks of documents, running between departments with a stack of files high enough to block her view, and delivering coffee like clockwork. She's bright, ambitious, and already annoyed by the corporate slavery disguised as internship. She knew the CEO was arrogant, but she had never crossed paths with him until today. She's hurrying down the corridor with a mountain of important documents for the finance board. The hallway is lined with employees greeting Tae Hyun as he walks past. His expression is stone cold. Then, thud, a stack of files scatters across the marble floor. Looking down slowly. You've got to be kidding me. Lami, flustered. I'm sorry, sir, I didn't. Tae Hyun, cutting her off. Do you realize how incompetent you have to be to trip into your own CEO? Are you blind or just stupid? Pathetic. If you can't carry papers, what can you do? Oh, right. Run errands like a delivery girl. Gasps echo through the hallway. No one dares to look directly at them. Lami flustered, crouching to pick up files. I'm sorry, sir, I didn't see. Tae Hyun, cutting in, voice rising so the whole floor hears. Of course you didn't see. You were too busy being incompetent. Do you realize what these files are worth? Do you know how many hours of my time you just wasted? Straightening up, eyes blazing. With all due respect. No, actually, with zero respect. You were the one storming down here, like you own the air we breathe. My mistake was thinking I had space to walk in your royal hallway. And maybe if you stopped barking orders for a second, you'd realize accidents happen. But I guess humility isn't in your vocabulary. And maybe if you spent less time inflating your own importance, people wouldn't need to dive out of the way when you walk by, like you're the main character in a drama no one asked for. The crowd stirs. No one has ever spoken to him like that. Mouths fell open. A coffee mug almost slipped from someone's hand. Tae Hyun, voice sharp with disbelief. Excuse me? Lami, stepping closer. You heard me. Your arrogance doesn't make you powerful, it makes you unbearable. And newsflash, Mr. Kang yelling, doesn't make you important. It just makes you loud. People don't respect you. They're just scared of you. You're standing in a hallway acting like you own oxygen. Must be exhausting carrying that ego around. Gasps. Someone almost drops their coffee. Tae Hyun, leaning closer, voice sharp. You think you're brave? You're just replaceable. Know your place. Oh, I know my place, Mr. CEO. I just refuse to crawl while you strut around like some overpaid peacock. And I know I'm replaceable. But you? Without your title, you're just another man with a bad attitude and overpriced shoes. A few stifled laughs slipped from the shocked employees. Coldly, you're fired. Effective immediately. Smirking. Gladly. I'd rather be jobless than be a puppet and waste another second in your cold, joyless little kingdom. She turns and walks off, leaving the files scattered behind. A suppressed laugh escapes from one coworker before Tae Hyun's glare silences them. That was the first crack in his perfect world, and he didn't like how much it stuck in his head. Days later, Lami landed a job as an usher at one of Seoul's most luxurious hotels. Stable pay, no screaming bosses. Or so she thought. Lami was arranging table settings for a high-profile banquet at the hotel. She was smiling at a guest when the air suddenly shifted. She turned, and there he was. Kang Tae Hyun, hands in pockets, eyes locked on her. Tae Hyun, grinning slowly. Well, if it isn't Miss Trip and Fall, he said, strolling toward her, hands in pockets, smile slow and infuriating. Lami, without looking up. You. Perfect. Just what I needed today. The universe really hates me. Tae Hyun approaches slowly, smirking. Lami, rolling her eyes. What do you want? I work here now, so leave me alone. Tae Hyun, leave you alone? Tempting, but no. You make life interesting. Also, do you want to get fired? Lami force. You can't fire me. You don't own this hotel. Grinning. Oh, sweetheart. I do own this hotel. Every brick, every light bulb, every plate of overpriced salad, every chandelier, every tablecloth, every paycheck, including yours. Her jaw drops, her smile evaporated. You're joking. Tae Hyun, try me. One wrong move, and you're out the door. I'll even have security escort you to make it more dramatic. Over the days, he made it his personal mission to get under her skin. Tae Hyun, this champagne is 2 degrees too warm. Miss Trip and Fall, should I fire you now or later? Lami, through gritted teeth. I'll get you another one, sir. She'd retreat to the staff corner after every encounter, grip the counter, and yell into the empty air. Lami whisper yelling, "Oh, that arrogant. I swear I'll pour that champagne on his perfect head one day." And somewhere in the distance, he was smiling. From that moment on, it was war. He would find her at every opportunity, leaning against the reception desk, whispering in her ear, "Do you want to get fired, Miss Trip and Fall?" If she brought him coffee, it was too hot. If she brought him water, he'd point out the fingerprints on the glass, and every time she would clench her fists, excuse herself, and storm into a corner to yell out her frustration. And somehow, he was always there to catch her. "Talking about me again," he'd say, grinning like he'd won. "Lami, that overbearing, arrogant piece of shit. He is just so full of himself." Tae Hyun, suddenly in the doorway. "Talking to yourself, Miss Trip and Fall? Should I be worried? Get out." Tae Hyun. "Careful. You sound like you want to get fired." Another day. He calls her over just to ask the time. Then Lami says, 3:45. Tae Hyun replied with an arrogant smile. "Wrong. My watch says otherwise. I should fire you just for being in a different time zone." He sends back his drink orders for not enough ice or too much ice. He had her rearrange table settings 3 times in a row for symmetry. Points at her mistakes, real or imagined, just to lean in and whisper, "Miss Trip, Fall, you're seconds away from losing this job." She storms into the back storage room, slams the door in frustration, and muttering curses under her breath, yanking off her gloves in frustration. Ugh, that smug overgrown peacock. I hope he chokes on his imported coffee. Meanwhile, out in the lobby, Tae Hyun is leaning casually against the counter, smirking. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he enjoys every second. Then Lami overhears hotel guests talking about a huge payout for becoming a surrogate. She hesitates But her rent is overdue. She's desperate. So, she applies at the agency. Later that week, Lami walks into a surrogacy agency office, desperate for extra income. After some minutes, she was given some paperwork to fill, and she was called into the office. The glass door swings open. Lami steps in, adjusting her bag strap and scanning the minimalist, cream-colored office, trying to stay calm and focused. Then, a familiar voice breaks the silence. Tae Hyun, leaning back in the waiting chair, arms crossed, smirk playing on his lips. "You've got to be kidding me." Lami freezes mid-step. Her eyes widen in pure disbelief. She looks up and it's him, sitting across the table, arms folded, smiling like the devil. In total shock and anger, "Oh, hell no." She spins on her heel to leave, but the doctor steps forward with a polite smile. "Doctor, before you go, perhaps you'd like to hear the compensation figure?" Lami hesitates. The doctor writes a number on a paper and slides it across the counter. Her jaw nearly hits the floor. In one smooth motion, she whirls back around and drops into the nearest chair. Tae Hyun, chuckling, leaning forward. Well, this just got interesting. And just like that, their war had only begun. To be continued in part 2.